Live. Oh, let's see what we got here. Hello, everyone watching us. All right, we are live on Restream.
I'm still waiting on Twitch. Twitch is live.
It's coming. This ad supports Twitch. Doesn't support us. You jerks.
I didn't even fucking get an ad, so screw you.
I'm getting an ad on my own dashboard. What the hell? It's an ad for, I think, Game Pass.
Well, we talk about it frequently enough.
That's true. Welcome back to That Video Game Pass.
Fuck, that's really good.
Brought to you by Microsoft, the best company in the world.
T-shirt ideas?
Sample that and send it to Microsoft support. Maybe they'll hook you guys up with something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Give us free lifetime Game Pass.
That's
just a pat on the head.
I'm not totally thinking about merging our logo with the Game Pass logo, I swear.
Not at all. Alright, looks like we are live on everything. I had to retweet this.
Oh, bollocks.
Hey, let's keep the language down, my goodness.
Fuck you.
That's better.
So, behind the curtain peek here.
Mm-hmm. Literally.
My wife figured out what the next episode of ODNF is going to be because it's her turn to pick a movie.
Oh, okay.
And I've literally never seen a person go from more meh to like wanting to explode through the walls out of excitement because she didn't realize I hadn't seen this film. And it was like, okay.
Is it the one you had opened a poll on Twitter about?
No, because are we talking about the Arnie selections?
No, there's a poll about Back to the Future.
Yes, that's this month's episode.
Okay, so the one we're talking about is next month's?
Yes.
Gotcha, okay.
And because, unfortunately, similar to me making her watch Star Wars before we actually did the show, before the show was even a concept, I made her sit down and watch all of the Star Wars movies.
Right.
Similar to that, she has taken me through the chick flick experience of the American teenager.
Okay.
So I've already seen Mean Girls. I've already seen Clueless.
Both great movies.
Yes, I didn't think I was gonna like Mean Girls, and it turns out I actually love Mean Girls.
It's really good.
It's a really good movie.
Touch that inner high school girl in you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have
exactly.
you seen Legally Blonde?
No, I have not seen Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde is a really good movie.
Okay, Legally Blonde is the next movie.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, there you go. To me, I would liken it a lot to Mean Girls, where it's sort of like, this probably really isn't in my wheelhouse, and you watch it and you're like, shit, this is a really good movie. Oh man.
Because we went through, literally, we Googled chick flicks that I haven't. I just went through lists. My wife hasn't seen Cruel Intentions.
Okay, interesting.
Which I think that is a high caliber enough movie that it needs to go on the list.
Okay.
I haven't seen Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yeah, that's a movie.
It's also one of the biggest movies of that time, so you can't. No,
not a movie I enjoy, but I get it.
Four Weddings and a Funeral, I haven't seen.
I don't know if I've seen that.
The launching platform of Hugh, whatever his last name is.
Hugh Grant?
Yes.
Have you seen Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain?
No.
It's really good. It's a movie that he stars in where he's not the Hugh Grant character, like that bumbling, stumbly, romantic.
He's not Notting Hill Hugh Grant.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really good. It's a real life story about a town that had a hill that is like 25 feet shorter than what it would take to be a mountain, so they sort of build it up to be a mountain. It's a cool story.
I haven't seen Pretty Woman.
I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, let's see if that holds up. I haven't seen Footloose.
Okay, I haven't seen that in a while either.
And Jess hasn't seen Bend It Like Beckham.
I don't think I've seen that.
Bend It Like Beckham's a really good like chick flick teen movie from the UK. It's kind of huge over there.
Yeah, it was pretty big over here too. I think mostly because when the title came out, people were like, "What are you talking about?" Like, we know who Beckham is, but what is he bending?
He bends the free kicks, dude.
I know, like, that's what you eventually find out, but like just in the title, you're like, is this appropriate? My God.
Is David Beckham secretly gay?
Yeah, I don't. Maybe.
So is ODNF fully turning into you guys just picking movies despite each other now?
It has its moments.
I think that's the genesis of it.
I definitely picked Blues Brothers because I had a feeling she would not like it, and as I explained in that episode, I was like, we have to watch things that we don't like, because the whole point of it is do these things hold up in modern day era to the cult classics that they are? Right. And I know people like Hannah and Ian and all these Chicagoans who are like will hold up Blues Brothers and Ferris Bueller's Day Off to like the extreme heights, and it's like they're not that good, and Blues Brothers is particularly not aged well.
It's problematic. Yeah, it's like A Christmas Story for Ohioans. It's like, that's our movie. That and Major League, makes our city look good, and it's like, well, maybe not Major League, but sure, I get your point.
Yeah, 51st State is the Liverpool one.
51st State? Interesting.
Yeah, Sam Jackson and Robert Carlyle.
Oh wow!
He's the chemist who makes really powerful drugs. Sam Jackson is.
Well, yeah.
Have you not seen 51st State?
No.
It's the 51st State.
51st State. I have not even heard about this.
It's a comedy action thing, and Robert Carlyle is a Liverpool Football Club fan who walks into a bar in Manchester with a flare and starts singing the Liverpool anthem.
That's great.
So it's that kind of movie.
Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Carlyle, Emily Mortimer, Sean Purty.
You should see Weezy Funds.
The Meatloaf.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, if you guys are doing movies based on state pride, you guys should check out Escanaba in the Moonlight.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, nobody outside of Michigan has ever heard about it. I didn't hear about it until years after I had moved here.
Man. Which mic are you using, Nimp?
I'm using the one on my Turtle Beach. Yeah.
Okay.
That not coming in all that well?
No, it is. There's just a lot of background noise. You might be able to fix it by telling Skype to... Where is it? Audio and video?
Yep.
Telling Skype to not automatically change your audio levels.
I'm watching Boston do this on the stream.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, now that I'm trying to figure out where this is now in this new version of Skype. Those jerks.
He tells them what to do. Yeah.
Keep Skype running. Suggestions. No, we'll just keep going through all of them. Ooh, look at the dark theme. Oh. Here's my camera. Hello, everyone. You do blur my background. Here, we'll do a quick preview. Whoa.
Are you talking about automatically adjusting microphone settings?
That one, yeah.
There on the actual call itself, it's literally right there.
Yeah, I have it on screen. It's under my nose. So if you click on settings, then audio and video, it's right underneath your microphone. It might just be the mic, and that's okay. I can probably do some boop. I can probably do some noise reduction on it.
You might. Oh.
Where'd you say it was at? Underneath the mic?
On the actual call itself, like if Boston's on the top, it'll be right next to like the little plus symbol, like person and the plus. You hit the little cog thing, audio and video settings. Scroll down a bit, and it'll be automatically adjust microphone settings.
There you go. Yeah, just
wow. The automatically blur your background is really stupid.
It blurs everything. Even
my microphone is background. It's in front of me.
That's so good. Sorry, everyone. Technical difficulties here. Because we're using Skype. Hey.
Yes. Insert the BBC test page here. Do you guys know about that? Because I asked my wife if she knew anything about this, and she didn't. Do you know anything about the famous BBC test image?
I can guarantee I've seen it.
It's the black and white image with the girl in the middle. It's coloured, but most of it is black and white. It's got a girl in the middle playing with a stupid doll, and it's got 4 colours in one colour in each corner of the screen.
Bring it up here on screen real quick. Test card F.
I believe that's the one.
Let's bring it up here on screen. This young lady playing tic-tac-toe with a creepy doll.
Yep, that's the one.
Yep. I have seen that. Probably. God, something probably made fun. Probably some cartoon in the 90s made fun of it.
Yeah, more than likely. Probably.
There's also test cards J, W, and X.
They don't matter. F is the only one that matters.
The OG.
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, let's look at test card W. I want to see what that one looks like. Just the widescreen version of that. Okay. Okay. You guys ready to start this thing?
Yep.
Sure.
We'll go Moon, then Nymph, then me for what you've been playing. So we won't put you in the #1 spot. It's too much pressure.
Yes, because that's what we do is produce pressure.
Yes.
We don't sit around in our pants vaping and being restless like you, complaining about the neighbors. We're all about the pressure.
That's right. Stupid neighbors. The thing I did want to talk about, I forgot I added 3 new games to my collection here. First one is Darkest Dungeon Ancestral Edition.
Ooh,
Wow.
physical release.
Yeah, it actually has... I don't think you guys can see it. Oh, I guess you can. It has a cool drawing of the estate in the background. I like that. I like that game. And then this is the Police 1, and this is the Police 2.
Which was
Switch.
sold out by the time I saw that offer.
Yeah, they were, what, $10 a piece?
Yep.
Yeah, so... Looking forward to playing This is the Police 2 when it... also, they have the most boring inside. It's just literally nothing. Very excited to play This is the Police 2 when it comes up on our Game Club list. Which has better chances than the We Rogue Like It list.
Yeah, Game Club's what, like 50, maybe 60?
You know, that's a good question. Let's look. Let's give more people a chance to hop in here. Close application. Come on, scroll. Community predictions. Game Club games, there we go. Like, the only thing that takes forever to scroll is my Google Drive. Which probably means I have too much stuff in it.
I know I have too much stuff in it.
I should start putting folders together, but... yeah, how many games do we have? 62. Which is way more than I thought.
How did I forget about a game?
How could you?
Considering it's like the game I played the most this week, it's like, how did I forget about that game?
It was memorable.
Yes.
Okay. Now are you guys ready?
Yes.
Now that I'm ready. Alright, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Bonjour, mon ami.
And joining us for the next 3 weeks is the Nymph.
Hello, everybody.
Let's just dive right into it, because I don't think we have any new stuff to talk about at the beginning. Moonpeer, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, let's break it down really quick. K-Blazers, check out the other show name, forgot.
We roguelike it.
Thank you. I played some Super Hot, check out other game show that we do.
Super hot.
Game Club, that one.
Text with your friends, super hot.
Yes. Tetris 99.
Mm.
I realize I really suck at Tetris.
Just like as a subgenre?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I suck. But it's actually kind of ironic that I started playing this, and so did Brad from the Bamfcast. Not the Bamfcast. From the Bombcast. Brad Shoemaker started playing it, and they were talking about it on a recent episode, and he was talking with his friends, and their response to how to get good at Tetris was, don't play when Japan's awake.
That's probably a good suggestion overall, yeah.
Which is funny because my wife also played a fair bit of Tetris 99. And she was getting knocked out like 98, 97, high 90s, 70s.
Jeez.
Because she was getting bombarded immediately. And then I explained this exact conversation to her, and then I checked, and it was 12 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon in Japan. And I was like,
prime time.
Yeah, stop playing now, play later. Wait for them to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Tetris 99, it's still great. I still need my one victory to claim Battle Royale victory for all.
And then delete it.
Yes. Oh, well, I know I'm not going to delete it. It's Tetris 99. You know, it's going to stay in there. Played a smidge, like a tiny little smidge of Breath of the Wild. I'm already frustrated with shrines I can't get to.
Yep.
Specifically the one right over the road from the first stable you run into. That's got those stupid spikes around it.
Yep. I took that one personally when I found it. I was like, I'm going to get in you.
I have tried and failed and failed. It's annoying because it's got that stupid tower right over the river, which is perfect for jumping off and using the stupid glide trick to get to it as well.
Yep.
So it's like, there is a way to get there, but I can't make it.
I know how to do it.
Do I make it?
Right.
I even tried freezing the stupid box on top of that tower and then standing on top of it after hitting it a bunch. That did nothing. Like, man. So I'm gonna have to wait and figure out how to get up the mountain with endurance and then jump down from that side, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I probably did the thing where it's like, all right, I'm gonna try and find a hill. It might be like an hour away, but I'm gonna get up there even if I can't climb up there. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. So so I bumped into that. Now I tried to head to the next village you're supposed to go to. But the problem was I took the wrong path and ended up going through an area where everyone was one-shotting me. So I was like, no, I'm just going to sit here for a little bit, and then I turned it off and played other things instead.
Have you tried playing stealth in that?
I haven't yet, no.
The best method that I used for most of that game was using the bow and bombs and having the higher ground, and you just sit there and drop bombs on things while shooting it. I went that way. Full on stealth with that game.
Interesting.
Jinx. I may have to look into this, but it's one of those things where I'm struggling a little bit because I will give Zelda its credit where it's due. I'm using my Xbox controller, and it's really handy when it pops up a prompt for a button and it has the location on the actual. It does the 4 buttons and then it says it's this button here, so I don't have to pay attention to A, B, X, or Y. I just look at the location where it is.
Right.
Super handy.
Thank you, Nintendo. 2 thumbs up.
Yes. I got a couple more Koroks, whatever those seeds are. I don't know if I'll ever find that stupid guy again, so when I see him next, I'm sure I'll find him. He said he's by the forest, but I don't know where that forest is yet.
Yeah, you'll run into him like way later. It'll be really clear where he is. I think there's like one pathway you can go up, and he's very clearly like on the pathway. He's like, hey man, and he's huge.
Yeah, that's the first time I saw him. Like, I saw him there, and I don't know if he stays there forever, but once I spoke to him, he was like, oh, I'll catch you at the forest. It's like, I don't know where the forest is.
Yeah, I think you have to go there for story stuff, so it'll just be a matter of time.
Yeah. Eventually, too, he'll stay in an area where you pick up a pretty important item, so it'll be real apparent for you.
Is the important item the Master Sword?
No.
Is it the Master Shield?
No. But that shield is pretty sweet, though, when you find it. It's a pain to get to, but it's awesome. And
the Master Sword is pretty good, too.
Yeah.
Is it an ocarina?
Look, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but no, there is not an ocarina in the game.
Yeah, I'm just going...
My son's played it more than me, and if he hasn't found it, it doesn't exist.
Right.
I'm just going through the Zelda tropes, trying to figure out what it could be. Is it
Right.
Epona?
Yeah, she is in the game, but
Yep,
dude,
she's
the hook
the
shot would have been so awesome in this game, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I can
no,
do
it
with
doesn't exist in there either.
Darn it. My next game is Division 2. Why not? We hit the level cap today,
Okay.
and the invasion started,
Yeah.
and it was like a kick in the teeth.
I liken it to The Binding of Isaac's Everything is Terrible, where it's like, hey, you just got a handle on this game. We're going to kick you right in the teeth. Good luck.
Yeah, but the thing with Everything is Terrible is it pops up a message saying everything is terrible, and you don't exactly understand what that means, because you don't have a map which you've just spent 40 hours making all blue,
Yep.
and then suddenly it's all red.
Yep. Including your settlements and all of your control points and everything.
I can't fast travel to the campus anymore. I don't know why.
Yep. Good luck.
Great.
Yeah, I've slowed down a lot since I hit World Tier 1, and not because I'm not enjoying it, but I feel like the difficulty spike means I have to be on my toes everywhere, including on the open world stuff, because, like, you'll run into just a patrol, and it'll be like, oh, here's 2 dudes, and they all launch drones, so you have 4 drones in the air, and you have one of those stupid mechanical dogs, and it's just lighting you up with some sort of cannon from 400 yards away, and so we're like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I did choose my specialization. I went grenade launcher because the grenade launcher class has perks that increase LMG and SMG damage.
There you go.
So that's right in my playstyle, so I'm
That is
perfectly
you.
happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did one invasion mission, which was easier than I expected it to be,
Yeah.
because as I'm running around the open world, I'm getting just thrown on the floor every 2 seconds. But the mission, where it isn't apparently a big invasion thing, that I'm struggling with. Everything else is just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I-
I feel like the strongholds are probably going to be pretty serious.
Yeah.
But regular missions feel okay.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna. It's very disheartening in one way. It's like, great, look at all the content I've got now.
Yeah, and it's
And
a cool idea. Like, you have this new force, Black Tusk has moved in.
Yep. And on the flip side of it, it's like, oh, look at all the time I wasted
Yeah.
clearing everything out to get to this point. Well,
And part of it is, I've been trying to reconcile myself with it where I know I'll capture a point and I'll get some really good gear because it's going to drop at my gear score. So all this stuff is going to keep improving me. But it's all so far away, and I can fast travel to my safe houses, but that only gets you part of the way there.
yeah, and it seems like there's about 56,000 times more events.
Yes.
Like more like question mark things on the streets. It's like, oh, you started 3 at once and you didn't know it.
Right. Here's a
So
bunch
now
of elites. Good luck.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
on one side it feels a little punishing, but on the other side it's like, no, okay, it's the end game now. Let's officially hit the treadmill and start this grind out kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
And part
Right.
of it that's exciting for me is, like, I finished this 40 hours of the campaign, and then it sort of said, cool, that's chapter 1. How about another 40 hours? And I'm like, oh, all right, sure. You're like, yeah, that's sort of a bummer, but yeah, let's do this.
yeah, and I'm kind of glad I didn't blow through it like really quickly.
Me too.
Because if I would have spent a week just playing nothing but the Division and then hit that point, I would have been like, bye-bye Division.
How about we do it again?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm okay backing away from it for now. And, well, you know, I'll chip away at it every now and again. And apparently you can literally just jump into other people's games, like World Tier 5. Oh, look, it's World Tier 5 loot. And I'm going back to my game at World Tier 1.
Ah, nice.
Okay. So we have some community members who have played too much of it. Rob, I'm talking about you.
No
so-
subtweeting here.
No subtweeting here. He's World Tier 5 already. Like, I just hit the level cap and he's World Tier 5. It's like,
Right.
come on, dude. But no, Division 2, it's a great game. And I think you said it last week. Like, the more I play of this game, the more it just scoots itself up that top 10 list.
Yep.
Where it's like, Oh, you like this, do you? Let me just scooch up a little bit further
There's a
and
little bit
scooch up
more.
a little bit further.
Now we
So-
have gear sets. Ooh, and it's like, curse you.
Exactly. I don't know if I like the what's it called? The station, the rhyming station name, the recalibration station. There we go.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't like the fact that you can't infuse, which is exactly what that station was used for in Division 1. It was infuse this into this and get a higher gear score.
Yeah, it's only carrying skills over from...
Specific stats and stuff from other
Yeah.
gear to this gear, and it's like, in one way it seems to increase it, and in a different way it seems to not increase the actual item. So it's
Yeah, to me it almost seems more like the Mystic from Diablo 3, where it's like, I'm going to focus on this one skill
and re-roll it.
re-roll it or replace it or like carry something over. Like I like the skill that increases your skills by duration by 20%. I like that one a lot. So I carried that over from like a really low level high-end backpack into the backpack I really liked, and like I replaced something, one of those things where it's like, oh, I do it was some skill I couldn't even use because it wasn't for my loadout, where it's like for a marksman rifle or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's exciting, but I'm really worried that I'm going to capture another control point, and then I'm just going to replace that for something else because it's going to be way better.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing that bothers me is one of those things. It's like, it's very much the Diablo thing, where if you want to get a gear set, you have to roll that gear set in drops over and over and over again to keep it at the highest tier that you currently can.
Yeah.
Whereas the thing I love about infusing in Destiny and Division 1 was, I really like this set of clothes that I'm wearing. I'm just going to drop higher level items into it and bring them up to spec with what I currently am.
Yeah, like
And
in Destiny 2, I have this, my primary gun now has 25,000 PvE kills in it, so I clearly love it. I'm not going to want to toss that away for something else, or like, I don't even want to carry its stats into something else. Like, I love that gun, and I've already run into that a little bit with the Division 2, where it's like, alright, here's an auto rifle or assault rifle I really love, but I know I'm gonna, at the next one I pick up, I'm gonna have to get rid of, because it's gonna be like, it'll do 3,000 more damage. It's like, okay, well, if it does 30 more damage, cool, I don't have to worry about that. But so going from like 19 to 22,000 damage, that's a pretty big jump.
Yeah, and for me also, like, I'm an LMG guy, so I'm very specific about my LMGs. If that mag doesn't say 100, then I ain't interested.
Okay.
Take your stupid RPKs and all these other things with 45 bullets in the mag, and get them away from me.
Right.
Because I want the 100 clip, 100
dump bullets.
100 bullet magazine, where I can literally just pop out and just spray everywhere around the battlefield and watch people die.
You want to see 5 suppressed messages on screen, no less.
Exactly, and it helps when I'm playing with my wife, who rolls with a sniper rifle and a shotgun. So while I'm busy suppressing people, we've naturally done it like we did with Blacklist and other games, where I'll suppress and then she will just roll around to the side of them and shotgun.
I like that she's playing shoddy snipers over there.
Oh yeah, it's her 2 favorite guns in this game seems to be sniper rifles and shotguns.
Shotguns are strong.
Yeah, they always were in this game, and in Division 1 especially, they were really, really bad. SMGs were godlike in the first one, because they put out bullets so quick that you tear people down in the dark zone in less than a second.
Oh wow.
But yeah, Division 2, level cap, yay, more progress. Oh no, a whole new map to go through again.
Oh no, more Division 2 to play.
And I feel bad because they've currently got events going on right now where you can get invasion-based apparel keys.
Yeah.
I read the description and it says if you complete the set, you get something special.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Which can only mean a dangly thing.
Oh no. I don't have the time to do that.
Neither do I. But oh boy, do I want to do it. But I didn't have the invasion thing when I wasn't up to the invasion when that event started. Do I even have enough time to go through and complete these missions to get the keys to complete the set?
That sounds like the prelude to Burnout. Where it's like, man, I got the keychain, and it's like, it's a robot dog, and I'm not gonna play this game for 4 more months. It beat me.
I know. Well, no. I want the dangly bits. I want all of the dangly things.
Yeah,
I can't help
they're
it.
really good.
They do anything, or are they just a
Purely
fun little
cosmetic.
thing? Okay.
It's literally, it's like the dashboard items in Elite Dangerous. It's just...
You're fine, man. You don't have to explain it. I understand.
It's just a little thing there that you
But
kind
it's
of want.
your thing.
I got this.
Yeah.
You didn't.
So, my final game, Astroneer. Oh no,
Oh, yes.
This game is taking up every part of my mental willpower to think. I'm literally on break at work thinking about how I can play the game.
Refactor your base.
Yeah, I may or may not have spent like 4 hours this week just reorganizing the base layout to make it more efficient.
Oh boy. You're in like Infinifactory territory.
I am literally avoiding every video I can for Satisfactory because I don't need to get involved in that thing.
I watched a video of that and I was like, "Oh no, I can't. I need to turn this off because this would be my life."
It's Factorium, Satisfactory. It's like, no,
Yep.
I can't go down those wells again.
I get to build a factory with math. Oh, yes.
And what was it? Vinny did a play date and then decided he was just going to play it for 3 hours on stream, like the day after or something. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I need to avoid those type of games because stuff like this, Astroneer, is just like, I have 2 save files. I have one I'm playing with my wife and one I'm playing with by myself. So I can learn the game and play the game and not affect the progress we share together.
Right.
I know it's bad when I do that. When it's like, I want to play it, but I don't want to spoil something I'm playing with my wife. So
It's like
I'm
having a different Netflix user account that your wife doesn't know about, where you're watching the
So I
show
can
ahead of her
watch-
and then you're pretending like, "Oh, that happened. Oh, that's so crazy."
No, that's just so I can watch the anime. That's all that
That's
is.
true. My secret shame.
Yeah, my anime Netflix account.
Yeah. Animoopir.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's a good name and interesting. But no, it's Astroneer, and if you take a look at a trailer for that game, if you've seen footage of that game, you will know if it's for you or not. Unfortunately, it is 100% for me.
You know, I haven't seen any videos of it for probably a couple of months. I really like the art style of that game.
And it's gotten so much better because
Yeah.
now they have distinct planets with distinct biomes.
Oh man.
And like there's moons for every one of the planets, and you can only get certain resources from certain planets. And
It's too good. I can't take it.
yep, it's
Yeah.
gotten way too specific.
Hi, dog.
Hello, doggo. It's gotten. I mean, it's expanded so much. I do have a minor bit of like framey issues when I'm hosting a game, but I've never been the type of person to be bothered by it. Like, I don't care if it's running at 15 frames, as long as I can still control it and it runs okay.
Right.
That's fine. Plus, I have a single player game, so I can get maximum frames out of it. Astroneer is great. That's all I've been playing. Move on to the next person, please.
All right,
Otherwise, I
Nim.
won't just talk for hours.
How about you? What have you been playing this past week?
Alright, so due to a lot of life events, I've actually had a lot of free time from work because I've had to fix a lot of things around my house.
Yeah. Sorry to hear about your number 2 problem.
Yeah, that saga still continues. Luckily, I don't have to pay for any of that, so hey, cool.
Hey.
Good on me. Yeah. So the first thing I started playing, I picked up a PSVR last week, I believe it was.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Tell me this story because I want the Sony hate to continue.
Okay, so it's not all hate. There's still a lot of good with this, but the biggest issue that I had is I had bought the newer bundle, the version 2, that came with the Borderlands 2 VR and Beat Saber.
Okay.
Everything mechanically worked fine, except for the Borderlands 2 code.
Oh no.
It said it was already redeemed. So spent 2 days with Sony support chat, and they basically told me there's nothing we can do about it. You're just SOL.
Superb.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Sony.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
So luckily, the place I bought it from, I gave them my sob story, let them know what was going on, and they said, yeah, we'll let you exchange it.
Great.
Cool. So I go back there. That store didn't have another bundle, so I had to drive another town over to go get the bundle so I can get the voucher, come back home and reset it all up.
Jeez.
So yeah, that's why I'm not big on Sony right now. But the actual VR set itself, I mean, I like it. My kids love it too.
I mean, it has Beat Saber. They're probably pretty happy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Beat Saber alone, I would say would be the reason to buy the VR headset. I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot of tracks to it right now. I haven't gotten very far into it, but I think about the 4 or 5 tracks that I've played so far, I mean, it's real good music if you like dubstep. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I swear my son was gonna give himself a concussion with the way he was moving around with that thing.
It's a good workout.
Yeah.
$50 and I'm in.
Yeah, yeah.
So once I did get a working Borderlands 2 VR code, had that download, started playing that, and I got 5 minutes into it and started getting motion sickness.
Oh no.
So I gotta mess around with it. There's a lot of options in there that you can play with.
Like
so I just
the
gotta
click
sit
to
down.
10, different like options for the speed and that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yep. So I gotta just kind of sit down and mess around with it and just find that sweet spot that really works for me. So that's about where I'm at with that.
Since the other co-hosts of the group here will refuse to play it at all times, will you buy Resident Evil 7 and play it in VR?
I can give it a go. I'm not a big horror fan, but I did see it there. Well, I have played every Resident Evil game. 7 I just kind of backed out on because I didn't have a whole lot of time, and my kids always want to watch me play too.
Oh boy.
So, but my schedule should be opening up soon, so maybe I can swing that.
Resident Evil 7's a great game, and I've heard nothing but really positive things about it in VR, and Mr. I don't play horror games up there won't play it.
I'm a chicken. I'm not going to shy away from it.
Can we set a Patreon goal of, like, I don't know, 100 patrons, 200 patrons, and Boston streams Resident Evil game?
Sure, we can set a goal for 100 patrons.
Okay.
And I will stream a Resident Evil game of your choosing, Moon.
Okay, set that up. I want that on the patron feed. Next goal, 100 patrons. Boston plays horror games.
I'll tell you right now, too, there's going to be enough stuff set up to your head that you're not going to be able to readily throw that VR set off your heads.
Yeah.
Because that was the other thing I noticed, too. A lot of the games for the VR headsets, they're all horror-based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, where's my fun little Blue Sky game where I don't have to worry about being scared?
Where's your stupid Disney Connect game, except instead of being a Connect game, it's a VR game?
Yeah.
Apparently just Beat Saber.
Yeah.
But I continued messing around with it because you can also play non-VR games with it, and basically what it'll do is it'll set up a screen in front of your face. And
just like the theater mode experience, doesn't it?
Yes.
Where it's like sitting in a movie theater.
Yep.
Interesting.
And you've got 3 different size options. You've got a small, which is just small enough that when you move your head, it'll follow where your head is moving to. That way, it's always right in front of you. The medium size I put to looking at like a 60-inch screen TV, maybe a little bigger. So you got enough room to move around and look and try to see anything. And there is a huge option, which is just way too big. I'm talking like the size of your wall. You're sitting there trying to look at menus, and you're just looking up in the sky trying to figure out what you're doing. But the graphics on the headset with a non-VR game kind of reminds me of, as a kid, for the younger generation, you may not get this, but putting your face right up against a CRTV, you can see all the individual pixels and lines and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not horrible. I tried doing it with Tales of Vesperia, and there was like a little bit of ghosting in there, but I mean, it wasn't horrible. So
Interesting.
But yeah, the next thing that I had tried was the Surge. That was actually a PlayStation free game for the month.
Guess what? I have it installed and I still haven't started it yet.
It is a very fun game.
Really?
Yes. A lot of the things that I really like about it mostly is just how you get your armor and your weapons. Because you don't just find them in the world, you have to actually attack your enemies. Like, you can pick different sections of their body, their arms, their legs, their head, or their body. And if they have armor there, a little indicator will glow letting you know, hey, this has armor. And if you keep attacking that, eventually you'll start dropping pieces from the enemy. And you collect that, and then you can make that armor for your character.
Oh, cool.
So
it's the for reference, Boston. I don't know if you remember. It's the like futuristic, like sci-fi Dark Souls kind of game.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
I will say that the opening movie is very graphic, so don't take your kid around. I had my door shut because I didn't know what to expect, and I was like, oh geez, what the heck?
Oh god.
But it's very fun. I'm almost up to the first boss in that, which reading everything online is apparently the make or break point for this game, where either you get how to defend or how to, sidestep and all that, or you just keep hitting your head on it and you just drop the game.
Oh, okay.
So I'm pretty good with the agility and stuff, so I think I'll be fine, but I guess we'll find out here in a little bit. The next game that I had been playing was Child of Light. It was on sale a couple of weeks ago. Picked it up for like $4, and I'm actually really enjoying it. It's kind of like a light Metrovania game, very light, with a lot of RPG aspects to it. So everything's set up on like a 2D map that you're just kind of looking at, and you get the ability to fly. You can just kind of fly around the map. All the enemies are right there on the screen. You fly into them. You've got this little firefly thing that follows you, and it's actually very versatile. You can do a lot of things with it outside of battle. You can stun enemies on the world map. That way you can just go right through them, not have to worry about them. If you put them over yourself, and then you hold down the button to let them illuminate, it'll actually start healing your party. And there's a bunch of puzzles and stuff that go along with it, but the battle system is actually pretty interesting. You can only have 2 characters in a fight, but you can swap them out at any time as soon as it's a character's time. And I just really enjoyed it. I've hit a weird difficulty spike where all of a sudden I'm not sure I'm supposed to be in the area that I'm in right now.
I think that's when I dropped it, where I was having a lot of fun. It's one of the Ubisoft published it. It's one of their when they were doing the spate of indie games they were doing.
Yeah, they also did the war game, whatever it's called, Valor Hearts, something, I don't know.
Yeah, Valor, yeah. And it was around the time they did Grow Home and a lot of those games. And yeah, I think I ran into the same part where it's like, yeah, this is pretty fun. Like, this is a lighthearted, cool, like, good, pretty easy RPG. And then I hit some brick wall and I was like, I'll come back to it. And that's, famous last words.
You get about curb stomped every battle.
Yeah. It gets rough.
And then the last thing that I've been playing is Elite Dangerous.
Yeah. Tell me all about it, Commander.
Yeah. This game, I had to put my HOTAS away in my closet so I would stop playing it because it was really starting to interfere with just life in general.
Yep.
So I've already hit my Elite for their marketing, basically. And now I've started working on scouting. And I've taken up a lot of the passenger missions because that helps out with a lot of it. And you can make a fair amount of money. And I was actually telling Boston when I was trying to get all this stuff set up earlier that I had my HOTAS on the side of the couch, and I'm doing all this stuff, getting everything ready, and I'm flying in between systems as I'm setting up. And I just happened to land right when Boston was like, all right, we're ready. He was like, all right, cool, let me get all this stuff done. So I love that game. And that's as much time as I need to put into it. I just can't.
It's the game that I think Boston would love.
Yep.
And then he would immediately fall down our rabbit hole of 2,000 hours is not enough time.
Yep.
You need
100%.
more.
We'll immediately hate the people that even talk about it.
Yes.
I mean, because I love and hate the fact that everything takes real time.
Yeah.
So if you take a mission, you've got 24 hours to complete it generally, unless it's a special mission. But that's 24 hours real time. So it's very possible, and I've done it several times, where you just forget about a mission, and then you log back in, and oh hey, you got like a $20,000 fine, and now you have all this illegal goods in your cargo bay.
Yep.
Which happened to me when I logged in this morning because I forgot I took a mission yesterday, and then I had to find a black market to sell all these goods, which luckily came back to being more than what my fine was. So, all right, cool, whatever.
Yep. Oh, that is, yeah. I love Elite Dangerous too, and honestly, I'm waiting for the for the tryhards to come out of the woodwork with regards to the new update, because they've added a whole bunch of quality of life things, or they are going to be adding a whole bunch of quality of life. Auto docking can now also take you out of stations. They're giving you a free, basically a computer system that will stop you from doing the loop of shame, where when you're coming to a system, you need to slow down, otherwise you have to do the loop of shame, where you loop around and then come back to it and slow down appropriately.
Right.
Like, they're adding a whole bunch of automation in to take that stuff away. Like, so you don't have to do that stuff if you don't want to.
Right.
I'm waiting for the hardcore people to... I'm waiting for the PC players.
Right. I dock my own ship. Ooh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that, but you know what? They're making it more accessible to more people.
Right.
Good. Like, good on them. Like,
I'm kind of in that same camp though, where I feel like everyone should crash their ship into a station at least once.
Are you kidding me? Autodoc has crashed me into a station at least once. So
especially when there's something sitting in the mail slot and it doesn't stop you, and then all of a sudden you've got a $400 fine because you didn't stop. It's like the computer didn't stop me.
Right.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure my wife has been blown up several times by Autodoc as well. Like, she just doesn't get along with technology, real or virtual, apparently.
Right.
I do wish we could change the music for the auto docking though. I mean, I enjoy the music it plays. What is it? Is it Knights of the Run of the Valkyries? Is that what's playing right now?
I don't know.
I don't remember what it's playing either. It's been so long since I've used it, but it'll play. Basically, you just sit back and this thing will pull you in, and while it's doing it, it's playing some classical music the entire time. So it's just kind of, you know, letting you chill. I wish you could change that.
Yeah. Auto dock radio.
Yep.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
I bought the most... I don't know if it's running still or not by the time this airs, but Humble Bundle, as most people know, run like 3 or 4 bundles at once. The ones I always keep an eye on are the Humble Book Bundles, because I read a lot. And the ones that they had recently is the Boss Fight Books series. So this is a series that different authors, I think I have 22 or 23 books out right now, different authors do a deep dive into one specific game. And typically the people that write about them are sort of experts, or they're very passionate about the game. The reason why I wanted to buy this bundle is for one book alone, which is Chris Kohler wrote a book about Final Fantasy V.
Yep.
And if anyone is going to write about Final Fantasy V, it's going to be that dude, or it's going to be the dude that runs 4-Job Fiesta.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's hard to get a personality so in tune with a game.
Yeah.
Like, I know Arthur Geese just finished, well, last year he finished, and it's coming out this year, a History of Gears of War book.
Oh, interesting.
And if there's someone who knows Gears, it's that guy.
Right.
Like, it's Chris Cole is like the perfect choice for that game.
Yeah, and I really like, each book is a really fast read. They're only about 200 pages, and they're typically written really easily. I really loved the book about Final Fantasy V. I think he managed to distill what makes Final Fantasy V so great and capture it on the page, at the same time sort of capturing how much Japan loved and still loves Final Fantasy V versus it's the Final Fantasy game that we never got. It was there. He goes through all the rumors and all the Final Fantasy Extreme when it was supposed to come out here, and the failed PC port, all the history around it. And side by side, he's interviewing Hironobu Sakaguchi, the sort of the father of the Final Fantasy games, and he directed Final Fantasy V, which is his last Final Fantasy he directed. And it's so interesting hearing him talk about that team developing Final Fantasy V. It's a very small team. I think it was like 25 people, which nowadays for like a AAA game is it's like one floor in Ubisoft Village.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to hear sort of that comparison and contrast, along with Chris Kohler learning Japanese, and he gets into, at the end of the book, the Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta, and hearing the genesis of the Fiesta, along with Sakaguchi enjoying it and explaining how they developed Final Fantasy V to do that exact thing was fascinating. It's so good. I cannot recommend it enough. I think even if you haven't played Final Fantasy V, it's probably really interesting. And I'm glad that I finally picked it up, because it was really good. On the other end of the spectrum was the book about Chrono Trigger by Michael P. Williams. Easily one of the worst critical pieces of video game writing I've read.
Jeez, Boston, tell us how you really feel.
Ever. I love Chrono Trigger, and I was excited to read a critical writing about Chrono Trigger, because I think there's something really interesting to be said about how Chrono Trigger handles time travel and the positive and the negative effects of what you do when you have time travel at your fingertips, along with Chrono Trigger sort of breaking out of the Dungeons and Dragons mold that a lot of JRPGs still adhere to, and giving us like 3 or 4 different RPGs all in one. You have the 65 million BC stuff, you have the far future, you have your typical sword and sorcery stuff. Like, you have a lot of stuff there, but instead, the author really gets mired down in dealing with video game logic, and I'm so sick of this stuff. Like, he's talking about, like, this poor village has incredibly expensive gear, and they have infinite stocks of that gear in their shops. What's with that? And it's just like, I get it. It's a video game, dude. Like, that's not the critical part. Like, that's not the part you start picking apart. And I think there are, 6 or 7 chapters in the book. 2 of them are virtually unreadable. One, he goes through and talks about nearly every named NPC in the game, and then details how he counted every NPC in the game. And the next chapter...
Does that even matter?
I found it did not.
Okay, widely regarded as one of the best games of this generation.
Yeah.
And now I've forgotten the name of it because I haven't played it. The robot game.
Nier
the sequel.
Automata?
Thank you.
Yeah.
How many NPCs are in that game?
Like 10?
What does it
15?
matter if there's 5,000?
Yeah, he was trying to get to a point that I never really understood, and I don't think he ever really got there. And the next chapter was trying to relate the ascension and appearance of Lavos, the big bad guy in 1999, in Chrono Trigger, to the Fukushima nuclear disaster and World War II nuclear bombings, and that was a pretty gross stretch of logic.
Yeah. Hey, here's an idea. Correlate those things with Akira, yes. Correlate those things with Chrono Trigger, maybe not.
Right. So, and he tries to weave in a little bit of stuff that I really wish he leaned harder into, because he spent a bunch of time in Japan himself, and he had a really tough time because he didn't speak the language super well. He learned while he was there, but he's also a gay man, which was heavily looked down upon, and maybe still is in Japan. So he had this sort of interesting fish out of water experience that Chrono does, and a lot of the time travelers do in Chrono Trigger, that I think could have made for really interesting correlations between the two, but he never really puts all that stuff together, and like, he gets so close, and it never really happens.
Yeah.
The silver lining of the book, though, is there's an entire chapter dedicated to him interviewing the 2 different translators for Chrono Trigger. Famously, Ted Woolsey translated the Super NES version, and it is a fascinating look into the very troubled translation for that game. And then there's another gentleman who translated the DS game. It's interesting to hear him translate how he translates that game while still trying to keep Woolsey's translation intact and tie Chrono Trigger to Chrono Cross, which had already come out before. I think that was really interesting, and then that's when the author dropped that they have never played Chrono Cross, which is kind of a problem for someone who's writing about Chrono Trigger. So, I really disappointed. I was really excited for this one, and it let me down in pretty much every way. But the next one I'm reading is Spelunky by Derek Yu, the guy who made Spelunky.
A buddy of mine has got a physical edition of this signed by Derek Yu, and he is a
kill for that.
He's a roguelike fan like us.
Yeah.
You actually have interacted with him on Twitter. He's Adrian. He's the guy who loves all of that stuff too.
Yeah.
And he told me that that is one of the most fascinating books he's ever read.
It hooked me in probably the first page. Because it's really interesting because I'm still pretty early on. I think I'm only like 20 or 30 pages through. This is a big... this is much bigger than the other ones. It's really interesting to hear from him about the team that he worked on that made Aquaria. And I had no idea he was on that team. That's a game I really like. The amicable breakup of that team, and then him moving on to making a roguelike that he wanted to play, because he doesn't like roguelikes. And it's really interesting to hear him explain, here are the bits and pieces about roguelikes I like, and here are the bits and pieces of platforms I like. What if I took all the good parts of both genres, smushed them together, and then stripped all the excess off of them?
Mm-hmm.
That's Spelunky. And I was sort of like, oh, okay, cool. Like, and he's talking through the genesis of developing it in Game Maker. For the book, he says, like, oh, I opened up the very first version of this game I have, and it's Spelunky. Like, I got it the first time, and then I just sort of started iterating. So it's really interesting because Chris Kohler's Final Fantasy V book is really great because he brings in Sakaguchi and he brings in his love of Final Fantasy V. But I really like Derek Yu writing about Spelunky because he gets the other side of the coin. He's talking about, here's this thing I made that everybody really seems to love. Here's how that happened. So that's, I'm really enjoying it, and I probably have one book I'm going to read out of order after this. I'm going to read Metal Gear Solid by Ashley Birch and her brother. What's his name? The guy. I don't remember.
Is it Zachary?
Something.
I don't know.
Let me search. That's the one I'll probably read next. And Ashley and Anthony Birch. That seems cool. Reading the two of them write about that game seems pretty cool. And then I'll probably start from the beginning and then go chronologically. Because a lot of them are interesting, but...
Allow me to ruin the Metal Gear Solid book for you. Imagine its narrative is done by Tiny Tina. There you go.
That would be an interesting mod. So I'll keep talking a little bit about some of them as I go on, but I think it was like $15 for 22 books. So that's
not bad.
That's a really good deal because each one of them costs $5. So you save a whole buttload. All right, we were talking about Division 2, Risk of Rain 2. I played a little bit more of that. I'm trying to figure out if I'm bad at the game because it's new, or if I can't progress because it's too hard. Like there's always that beginning part of roguelikes where it's like, cool, I've been playing for 10 hours and I still can't beat the first level. All right, this could be fun. That's sort of me in Risk of Rain 2, and I went back to the first Risk of Rain after that and like cleared a run, and I feel like Risk of Rain 2 as it stands playing solo is a little too hard. I know they're really leaning on playing it as co-op, but so far that it feels a little bit like it's leaning too much on that. It's still in early access. It can be in early access for a year, so obviously there's plenty of time for them to balance it and all that stuff. So it's not I'm not gonna, toss it in the bin or anything, but I'll probably wait a little bit before I hop back into it, and keep an eye on the development. Maybe they'll balance it a little bit differently. But still great. Looks great. Music's great. It has a lot of the items back from the first one. One interesting thing in this one, in the first game, as you pick up items, your UI would change a little bit, but it was never anything really huge. In this one, items you pick up, you actually wear, almost Binding of Isaac style. So
that's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, so like the double jump, you're going to get wings on your back. Like, you're going to get all this stuff on your body, and I think that works so much better and so much cooler, because you just get bigger and bigger the crazier and crazier your run gets.
Yeah, I love visual cues in roguelikes. Like, stuff like that is always, like, it's so great.
Yeah.
It's great in RPGs too, but no one ever does it.
Yeah, I feel like very few
2019
RPGs
people
do it.
wake up.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3 did it, thankfully, where it's like, all right, my Keyblade looks different.
Yeah, but they also only had specific costumes per world. It's like, give me a different set of pants. Like,
Sure.
If I change my pants, they should change.
Yeah.
Like,
or even with the accessories too. It's like, I've got 4 different necklaces on. I want to see all 4 of them.
Right, I want a bunch of stuff hanging off of me.
Yeah, let's see that bangle dangling on your wrist.
Yeah. And the last game I played this week is Enter the Gungeon. The Farewell to Arms update is out and has been patched a couple times. I found a gun that fires planets. It just fires planets from our solar system. Like, Mercury comes out, and it's just a tiny planet that sets people on fire. And it just randomly shoots planets out, and it's really good. I very quickly unlocked the Rainbow Run guy. So this is the thing I was talking about, I think, last week, where every time
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Every time you start a floor, a rainbow chest opens, spits out its 8 items. You pick one, all the other ones disappear. That's the only thing you get for that floor. That includes, like, the shooting gallery guy, Link from Zelda. He's just in the game, largely. Any of those other people, they won't give you rewards either. So it truly is the only item you get. Pick a gun, pick a passive item, an active item, something. So you can either get something incredibly overpowered on the first floor, or you're just picking up cursed items because that's kind of the best thing you can pick up at the time. It feels really fun. I beat a run sort of by the skin of my teeth, not doing super well, but I think for me, I missed the 2 previous updates before this, Supply Drop and Advanced Gungeons and Dragons. I just wanted to say it again.
Yeah.
So there's so many new items and weapons and buffs and debuffs that I don't know what half of the things do. So
are you telling me that someone's come in and wiped out your flowchart?
Yeah, but what's cool is that Enter the Gungeon, or that the Rainbow Run, if I was to equate it to something in Binding of Isaac, it's almost like Goat Head, where it's like, here's this free ticket to check out the coolest stuff, so you can figure out what these high-end items do that you maybe don't see all the time.
Which version of Isaac is the Goat Head in?
All of them?
What are we talking about with the Goat Head?
That's the one where you pick it up and the Deal with the Devil door stays open, and it's like a guarantee on every floor.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
There we go. So it's a cool way for me to run into higher end items. A lot of the low end items are pretty static, and I don't think they've really added too many more. So I sort of know all that stuff, but it's cool to figure out, here's all this. Thank God they have a much better interface for synergies now, and I don't know when they added it. But basically, before, when you would pick up you'd have your normal items. If you pick up an item that synergizes with another, a little blue arrow would show up above your head really quickly and then go away, which is supposed to say, like, you picked up something that synergizes. No idea what it synergizes, what anything does. now when you hover over an item in your Ammonomicon, it'll show an arrow on that item and the thing it synergizes with.
Okay.
So thankfully now you don't have to go to the wiki to say, okay, which 2 of these things do I have on this giant list?
Yeah.
So that's way nicer. Quick spoiler, I'm trying to unlock one of the 2 new characters. I'm trying to unlock the Paradox, which is their version of Eden from Binding of Isaac.
Okay, so random rolls.
Random rolls, and you pay a little bit of a fine to roll as that character. It's 6 hegemony credits, which you're going to get by just killing one boss. I am having a hard time because I'm really rusty. Basically, you have to find this... It'll look like something from the void has poked through the floor. Go over that, you hit X, sort of absorb it in yourself, and then you either go beat the Lich or go beat somebody's past. And I got to a character's past after I had absorbed that thing, and I lost in someone's past, which means I'm hilariously terrible at Enter the Gungeon. Most pasts are really easy. So that was sort of a bit of a dark period this morning. But I'm excited to play as that, because that, like Eden and Binding of Isaac, that can turn into some really cool runs or some really terrible runs that somehow make it.
Squish.
Yeah. And you have to unlock that one to unlock the other character, which I know nearly nothing about. I just know how to unlock him. So, yeah, I played a lot of Enter the Gungeon this week, just trying to sort of shake the rust off and get back into a game I really love, and sort of try and enjoy as much of the farewell as I can before they announce whatever they're working on next. The only thing they've said that they're about the next game they're working on is it will have dodge rolling, so it probably has to, because they're called dodge roll games. But you know,
dodge rolling the game.
There you go. Right. But that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break. Boy, it's getting hot in here.
So take off all your clothes.
I was thinking the same thing. I just didn't want to say.
I didn't even remember that song until...
How does that permeate so hard into society?
Man. I don't know how to top that. Alright, I'm ready to start whenever you guys are. We have a lot of news stories and a whole lot of questions. So I think we're going to be here for a bit.
Cool.
Give me 1 second, let me just clean my face up.
Okay. As one does.
Mm-hmm. When one cannot properly insert liquids into one's mouth, that's a problem.
Just get it all up in that beard.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I need to start picking up vaping here.
Just letting you know that I've only been vaping when I see Moon do it.
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
No, I just don't know when the all clear is for that.
Usually we just do it on breaks.
Yep.
Okay.
Breaks, pre-show, after show.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing with swearing too. And it's like, yeah, I can restrain myself. I just won't do it. And then I just won't talk. No.
Yeah.
Dude, I was a teacher's assistant. I don't know how the fuck I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started thinking about that at work too, because it's never been talked about at work, but someone had brought up that I've got a real boot camp style of supervising people.
Mm.
Yeah, probably because I have a military fucking background. You guys are all fucking idiots.
Right. It's simple math.
Yeah.
Mr. Nimp, how do I fix the printer? Did you try switching it on and off again? No. Then what is your major malfunction, son?
You get people where it's like, hey, it's the label printer's not printing. Okay, did you check to see if it has labels or ink in it? Well, no.
Well, duh.
All right, so
I'll
open
see you later.
Like literally, the hatch just swings open. Just look inside. There's a window even there.
Are there things in it?
I got it too because I'm considered IT for our building because our building's like a little small satellite building from the main building.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy came up to me and said, "Hey, the printer's not working." I'm like, "So fucking go call IT. It's their goddamn job." And he just looks at me, and everyone in the office is like, "You are IT over here." I was like, "God damn it."
Damn, I am right.
Yep.
And so now you guys have opened the floodgates. I can't stop swearing now.
Get that beat button ready, Boston.
Yep.
Nah, it's not that bad.
Okay, I'm good.
Game face on.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about releases for the week of April 15th, 2019. Anno 1800 comes out on the PC. Moon is shaking his head no. I feel the same. These games look incredible, and I...
Stay hell away from me, please. Thank you very much. All Anno games ever.
Yeah.
I
know
need
I'll
to
love you.
install you and start, and then never stop. Yeah, I don't need to Elite Dangerous this game.
Right, yeah. Man. Final Fantasy X and X-2 Remaster comes out for the Switch and Xbox One. Friendly reminder, X-2 is really good. Don't not give it a shot.
Where's my 8? Still no 8? Still no buy.
For real. Yeah, Square, you hear that? You want 4 more sales? Put out 8.
Mm-hmm.
Scoop up the whole thing.
Has anyone figured out, is it really the fact that they lost the source code? Is that the reason why it's not coming out, or is that still just rumor?
No, that's rumor, because they have the source code for the PC version, and that's what they've been using for like 7 and some of these other titles. So they'll have something out there. Honestly, I just don't think Square wants to right now. Either they're waiting for something, or they don't like Final Fantasy VIII. And I don't
know the answer.
It just seems to be a weird one to park on and say we're not releasing this.
Right, like
everyone's up in arms about 7, so you would have thought that would have been the one that they're kind of, well, I guess too, they would put out that remake for the PS4 just to appease everybody for their announcement. But
you think they would like skip on 2 or 3? Like those are ones that 2 is reviled. That's a bad game, but they're more than happy to keep pushing that out. So I don't. It's weird. I don't understand it. My Time at Portia comes out on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. This looks like a cool, like, blue sky, feel-good, sort of farming, dungeon crawling sort of game.
It has piqued my interest, but I am maintaining self-control and completing games before buying new games.
Right.
Sekiro is I'm eyeing that thing up, and I'm waiting for a couple of clears to start talking about getting my face kicked in by a bunch of ninjas and chickens.
And I bet that's going to be on a pretty good sale pretty soon. We're seeing like one of these days it's going to be $30, and it's like, okay, well, time to hit Sekiro.
Yep.
Yeah, or Sekiro? I don't know.
Whichever one.
Sekiro.
Yeah. Cuphead comes out on the Switch with all of the brand new improvements. Like you can play as Mugman as your primary character and some other things. So I guess if you're like me and you haven't played Cuphead yet, it's now on Switch.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's on Xbox One, PC, and Switch. I think those are the platforms right now. And lastly, Katana Zero comes out for PC and Switch. That's that super cool, futuristic, side-scrolling, Devolver Digital katana slicing game. You've probably seen a bunch of... They've been pushing it pretty hard.
Probably, but until it's that dude who really likes bananas and shoots things and jumps through windows...
My friend Pedro?
Yes, until that game comes out, then I will wait for a little while.
They have been sharing GIFs of that game, and every time they share a new one, I'm like, oh, yeah, that game's coming out, and it looks real dumb and good. All right. Yeah. All right, let's talk about a game that's not dumb, but good. Elite Dangerous. Moon talked a little bit about it here in our What You've Been Playing earlier. Elite Dangerous is getting a bunch of new features to help out brand new players. Most specifically, a instanced area just for beginners with some better quests and tutorials to get you started with the game. 2 thumbs up. More games should do that.
It's only setting you up for failure, though, because once you're used to getting a decent amount of credits and you go into the real game...
Yep.
Real Dark Souls starts here.
Yep.
Yeah. They're also adding Interstellar Initiatives, which look like they're month-long community events. I'm hoping one of the two of you knows about that.
I stay as far away from the politics and the allegiances in that game as I can, because that's a deep dive that I don't need to go down. I did at one point sign up for a leader, but then it takes an already complicated game and then adds about 5 more layers of complicatedness on top of that. Where it's like, oh, this system is owned by my leader's rival, so when I go in there, I am automatically viewed as hostile.
Oh, no.
And there is a battle going on at the edges of the territory where you can go and try and swing it one way or the other. When I was actually aligned with somebody, I got threatened to pull out of a system before I was destroyed by 2 human players who were in the opposite faction.
Oh boy. Okay.
It doesn't stop there either, because you'll have random people of a different faction who will chase you down, or like I had one when I was doing Felicia Winters for a little bit. Where I was out in the middle of no man's land, like way out of the bubble, and there was another guy, I can't remember the rival, who just happened to see that I was tagged with her. The dude was weapons up and ready and trying to take me out. I just ran. I don't know what's going on. I'm out.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, at least Elite Dangerous is getting more of what some people really like.
Well, that should tell you how deep that game is. If Nimp and myself have put probably at least a couple of hundred, if not thousands of hours into it at this point, and we haven't really done that yet.
Right? There's like a whole system you haven't touched.
I haven't even touched the Guardian stuff, and that's supposed to be considered like the mainland story stuff.
Oh wow!
And I don't even know how to get to the first mission.
So go purchase. Actually, Elite Dangerous is on sale right now. So if you want to play Elite Dangerous, it's on sale right now. So pick it up.
Everything.
Yeah. Next news story: Twitch Sings is now live. This is the Twitch and Harmonix thing they've been working on for a while. This went live for everybody on Twitch recently. I just watched a couple of streams of people playing this before we started recording. A hilariously huge amount of tracks are built into it. It seems like there are hundreds, if not thousands, of songs just ready to go for you. It seems like it works really well. You pick a song, it has your avatar up on screen, it has just the singing track from Rock Band lifted right out of there and plopped into that interface, and you sing, and a bunch of people can pick challenges for you or whatever, and ask for ovations and do a bunch of stuff. So it seems like a really cool experience that I'm hoping Twitch promotes enough to make it popular, because it took me a little bit of searching to find.
Yeah.
It would be a bummer if they accidentally bury that.
It would be hilarious if they took this and turned it into Rock Band Live with Twitch.
Yeah.
And did what Guitar Hero couldn't do.
Right. Oh, Guitar Hero Live. If you bought Guitar Hero Live, don't forget you probably still have time to get your money back before they get sued. So that's some fun stuff. Next news story: Respawn's Star Wars game has been unveiled. Sorry. It's yeah, it's something. It's titled Jedi Fallen Order. Their official line is it takes place after Episode 3 and Order 66, which is not a thing I know anything about.
Whoa!
Really?
Whoa!
You don't?
Hold on.
Feel free to explain then. I don't.
So Order 66 is the order given by the Emperor, Senator at the time, that the Jedi the bad guys were all along. So that Order 66 is what the clone troopers get to initiate them to kill all of the Jedi.
Gotcha. Okay. So that makes the trailer make a little bit more sense, where he's like, hey, tamp down the Force. Like, you can't be doing that. Yeah. Looks interesting. I mean, Respawn has a legacy to them that is a positive.
Having very recently played Titanfall 2 through again.
Yeah.
Oh boy, am I hyped about this one. Yeah.
Probably the funniest part about this is EA is making a big deal that it won't have loot boxes or microtransactions. It'll just be a single player game. And sort of like, yeah, but like you guys did that. Like, you can't say like we're not like the other guys. We don't have. It's like that is you guys. Yeah, like,
if we could just get it, where the only thing EA has to do with this is that they help to release it, and their name is just on the box, I think this game will be great.
Yeah.
It's sort of a bummer their name is in the logo at the bottom. Like
That's what really tapped down my enthusiasm for this.
Yeah, it would be nice if they would just put it in a box and ship it, but...
You know, I agree, but in Respawn I trust.
Yeah, I think Respawn gained a lot of trust for a lot of people when they put out Apex Legends, and they're like, hey, we know what you think about EA, so we just launched it. It's like, okay, you guys get it too, sure. So I think it's one of those Star Wars titles that I think you can, personally, I can look at and sort of be like, all right, I have some cautious optimism here, saying like, hey, this could be pretty cool. It's their game to mess up, so...
I'm also very curious if this is a case of Respawn have got the battering ram that is Apex Legends to say, this game just made you millions.
Right.
This game is what we're going to make, and it will make the money it makes.
Yeah, I hope it gives them enough leverage to really follow their initial dream of what they think this game should be. Because like you said, everything that I've played of theirs has been great. But I'm just really worried about EA. And I don't like bashing companies either, but I mean, they've got a track record, so...
Yeah. Well, you almost hope that it's like an actor doing a big budget Hollywood film so that he has the money to squirrel away to make a little indie film after that. Where it's like, hey man, we brought you like we brought you Apex Legends, like I'll be Captain America. I need $2 million for this little movie over here, so I'll put it through you guys, but you know, you kind of keep hands off. How's that sound? It's like, sure thing, Cap. Good luck. Next news story here is a rumor about the next Assassin's Creed. There's apparently a string of posters I haven't seen in the Division 2, probably because I'm usually getting shot at by robot dogs, that has the Apple of Eden in it, and which, if you haven't played an Assassin's Creed game, that's the thing in Assassin's Creed.
No. It was the thing. Nowadays, it's one of the things.
Phase 1 of Assassin's Creed. Phase 1 of the Assassin's Creed cinematic universe. That was the thing. Now it's a different thing that I will not spoil because it's important. That appeared on a poster in the Division 2. And normally this is sort of like, oh yeah, like wink and nod. Like, yeah, we also make Assassin's Creed. But... Jason Schreier over at Kotaku, you know, super rumor monger extraordinaire.
Slash mostly right 99.9% of the time kind of guy.
Yeah, apparently a whole bunch of sources from Ubisoft told him, yeah, we're making a new Assassin's Creed game that is codenamed Kingdom, and it's going to be about Vikings.
Yep.
So that could be pretty cool. That's one of those things where it's like, all right, you want to make a Viking game? All right, you want to make it like Origins and Odyssey? All right, I could get excited about that.
And we know that you can do sailing.
Yeah, so... that's true. Vikings love sailing, man.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So, and I know everybody is still saying like, what about Japan? Remember, every time you ask that, it gets pushed back by a year. So be careful.
Yeah, tried 2 years.
Half-Life 3 theory. Every time you push it back, or every time you talk about it, it gets pushed back 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. Another news story here about Ubisoft. They say they will not be making any more toys for Starlink Battle for Atlas. This is interesting because they're very quick to say Starlink is doing really well.
Yep.
Just not the spaceships you click on your controller.
Yep. From what I understand, it seems to be selling fantastically well as a digital product.
Yeah, and they it was sort of a hard sell because like the physical one with the ships and all that stuff was like $80 when it came out, something along those lines. Then the digital one was like $50. So, and you don't need a ship to play it. So,
I'm saying a lot of it came out too right around the time that Toys to Life was pretty much just being dropped by everyone too. So
yeah, and that's why I wanted to put it in news stories this week. It feels like this is the final nail in the Toys to Life coffin. Like Disney Infinity died. Nintendo's Amiibo is the closest thing, but those aren't tied to a specific game.
Yeah, Lego Dimensions is pretty much done.
Yeah, that's dead too.
Spyro is the only one that's kind of alive, and Activision don't seem to care about that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I
haven't
feel
heard
like
anything about Skylanders in a long time.
yeah.
A lot of that Skylander stuff now, honestly, it's transitioned to PC and mobile these days.
Okay.
They seem to be doing a whole bunch of stuff on mobile. Honestly, okay, Toys to Life. One thing that gets you to buy a Toys to Life game, and every single figure, like one genre, one brand, one something.
You know what's crazy about it is if they would have just given Disney Infinity more time, you could have tied that into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and probably sold just buckets of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and they did too, because there is a fair amount of Marvel ones out there. Because
that's true.
I bought into all of those with my son, so I have almost everything sitting in a bucket over here.
Yeah, just bins of stuff.
Let's say between the Star Wars and the Marvel, I mean, they were doing pretty deep cuts with some of that stuff too. But
yeah.
Yep. Like a Shocker is in there, which we have here downstairs on one of our shelves, like, because we got a bunch of Infinity stuff, mostly because the figures are cool.
Figures are cool. We have a couple.
Genuinely
pretty good
cool.
quality too.
And I thought that's what was going to be the differentiating factor between everything else in LEGO Dimensions, where everybody loves building the LEGO sets and being able to take that stuff and put it in the game and have all these really weird sets where it's like, here's a Ghostbusters one and it works in the game. It's like, okay, cool, that's crazy. That seemed to do real good, and then all of a sudden it didn't for some reason.
Yeah. Okay, so if they're going to knock it out of the park and rejuvenate this whole Toys to Life thing, as far as I'm concerned, there's two things left that they need to plunder. And I use the term plunder specifically.
Okay.
Transformers.
Sure, yeah.
It's the one. Like, it's the one that they haven't done, that they probably need to mine that thing. And Pokemon.
Oh, boy, yeah. That would be... You could do that right, and that would be...
Because the Pokemon one, you could have them in little mini Pokeballs that you can pop open and put them on the platform, and it would be great.
If you tie that in a Pokemon Go, that'd probably be the whole Pokemon ecosystem.
Yep. The only other thing I can think of, and that's just because everybody who's a fan of it are idiots who love spending money on it, would be WWE. Like,
yeah,
you give a pro wrestling Toys to Life game.
It do as well as that pro wrestling card game that does really well.
Yeah, I mean, all of the mobile games for WWE make bajillions because the rubes who watch wrestling, and I say that as a rube who watches wrestling, loves to spend money on that stuff.
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Man.
I think Transformers would be a dangerous one to try though, because you've got so many different classes of fans where if you made it so that they didn't transform, you would alienate a good portion of that audience. But then if you made them to transform, they would be more expensive, so then you're alienating another portion of the audience.
Right. Have a driving level, just transform it, put it back on the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I would buy it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. And last news story here is a piece of good news. Vampire, Don't Nod's Vampire, passed 1 million units sold in 10 months. So
absolutely amazing for a triple B game that is. That's a fantastic milestone, especially it did have money put behind it, but the fact that it sold this well is so nice. Like,
so the even better silver lining on it is Don't Nod and publisher Focus Home Entertainment have renewed their partnership to work on what Don't Nod is calling a new ambitious project. So whatever you guys got,
might be Vampire 2.
Maybe. I'd be sort of excited to see them do something different again. We're sort of like, oh, you're gonna make a vampire RPG? All right, let's try this thing. Sure.
It's Vampire the Masquerade. Brood Lines is what it's called.
Right. See, it's a little bit different. All right, let's move on to questions here. Jimbo Jangles sends us an email saying, hey, TVGP, Jimbo Jangles here. My question for the crew this week, with an overflow of sequels announced or already released, what's your favorite game that never got a sequel? My pick is Skies of Arcadia. That was a gem on the Dreamcast. Later, guys, Jimbo. He took my answer.
I've kind of got two.
Okay.
Blacklist, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Stop teasing unless you're going to release it. I don't care anymore, Ubisoft. Enough with this.
Yeah, like, it's one thing to say, like, an Easter egg. It's like if it's Watch Dogs. It's like, yeah, we're going to get another Watch Dogs. Stop putting Easter eggs of, like, the helmet in there. Like, just stop. It's hurting people.
Yes, it is. And it hurts my soul every time it pops up.
That's a good choice.
And the only other thing I can think of is Brute Force.
Yeah.
Because that was not as bad as everybody said.
Yeah.
And it kind of deserved a sequel.
Boy, what would I pick?
See, off the top of my head, I got nothing. And I know when I think about it later, I will.
Yeah. I would have to exclude Alpha Protocol because I feel like that's the perennial choice.
Yeah, that's
same
a
with
given
Alan Wake. Of course, we all want to see a sequel to Alan Wake. Like that's a given.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I feel like I got a Toe Jam and Earl sequel, so that one's sort of out. What else have I read? I know.
How about KOTOR 3, huh? Still waiting on that one.
Zoning Enters 3 too? Like, that's never gonna
happen. Exactly.
Yep. God, what was that? Monster Quest or Dragon Quest DS game.
The Joker one?
No, the other one. Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime. I would love a sequel to that. I think Japan got maybe 1 or 2 sequels of that, but we really never got anything here. That was a cool put a slime in a mech suit and fight other slimes in other mech suits. Man, that game was so good.
Yeah, Luminaire and chat Project Selfie.
Project Selfie, that would be a really interesting one. Yeah, sort of a spiritual successor to Einhander.
I'm trying to think of other games that need a sequel.
Sequel to The Bouncer.
No, The Bouncer was a pretty
Bouncer
good
was
game.
fine. Bouncer was fine for a PS2 launch game.
Yes, the same way Brute Force was fine for an Xbox original launch game.
Right. It's like, what was that? State of Mayhem? That Rockstar game?
Yep,
PS2?
I believe it was State of Mayhem. With the in the mall fighting game. That's State of Emergency. There we go.
State of Emergency. There it is. Yeah, it's like that was a fine game when it came out. It's not super playable now. But Jimbo Jangles in chat says Duck Hunt. LOL.
Yep.
Duck Hunt 2. Dog takes his revenge. I feel like there's definitely got to be something on. We just got an announcement of like a Left 4 Dead 3, basically from Turtle Rock. So that one's sort of. We'll be getting a Diablo 4 because Blizzard says they're working on that. So.
Yep.
One that I could think of just right now, Eternal Darkness.
Oh, God,
I don't know how they would be able to pull off even half the stuff that they do now. You know, that
VR,
they did.
Probably. It'd have to be a VR game, I think.
Yeah, but
there's a cockroach in your headset. No.
Well, even with the way how it messed with your volume and how everyone used to have those green dashes and stuff, it was like that was the most. Yeah.
So
God,
good.
that game screwed with you in such good ways.
Yeah. It would say it was deleting your save file.
Yeah.
God, that was a great game. I mean, even at that point, I'd still like to see what a sequel to 2 Human would be.
No, if it could get that idiot out of there, then yes.
Yeah, I would almost like to see some. That's what I would like Don't Nod to make next. 2 Human 2. What would Don't Nod do with 2 Human? Probably make it real crazy.
Yeah.
Luminaire says Dark Sector. That's a good choice. That was a game that wasn't super great, but man, it had promise.
It's kind of similar to the Blacklist thing, but Siphon Filter.
Yeah.
Give me a modern re-envisioning of Siphon Filter along with a taser that sets people on fire.
I'd be curious to see what a modern Siphon Filter would look like.
Yeah, and just because every time any type of game like this or a question like this has to be brought up, where's my next Parasite Eve game or even my Parasite Eve remake? Pretty please,
I was thinking about that too, but they
or even
already
just a
did
collection.
Too.
Slap all 3 of them on a disc.
No, you don't need all 3.
And
no, you
slap
need
the
one
first
and
2 on a disc.
There we go.
There was never a 3rd one. Next question here from Lucian DC in Discord. While searching for some box art for my most recent podcast, yes, that's a tiny bit of self-promotion, I noticed that there were something like 5 different box arts I'd never seen. Do you know why different box arts exist, and have you tried to collect them? I'm always fascinated when a game gets different box arts for different regions. Like, you'll have one for North America, you'll have one for Europe, and you'll have one for Japan.
In modern days, I think it's less of an issue because the world is more globalized as a general right now. Yeah. Like, well, back in the day, these things used to be like specifically targeted for what that audience thought was the best. Like, go check out the Mega Man box art that was released in Europe because it's so dumb.
It's so bad. But I mean, even up to PS1, you know, the European and the Japanese versions of like Final Fantasy VIII, for example, had just the white cover with the logo, and it was really simple. And then the North America ones would have just some big, flashy box art, and we were always pining like, oh, look how simple they were. Ooh, they're so beautiful. And then we got them over here, and people were like, how dare you? Okay.
See, I always loved the Final Fantasy box art because it was one of those things you could put on a shelf, and it was perfect. It was like white with different colored logos, with different art styles. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I know even the East games, those had, for every region, there was a different cover for them. There's actually a guy online who's been trying to collect all of them from way back when, but it's like even just looking at, just between like European and Japan, you'd have, you know, this massive anime-looking thing that looked nice in Japan, and then you'd get to like Europe, and it looked like some old D&D cover with a redhead on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like a really terrible, like, here's my first CG scene. It's like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
Servo in Discord asks, role-playing in custom GTA 5 online servers is currently a big thing on sites such as Twitch. People undertake roles such as police, doctors, tow truck drivers, or whatever else they desire. If you had to choose a game type to undertake an online RP persona in, which would it be, and what would you do?
Oh...
That's a good one.
I built my own Planet Express and Elite.
Yep.
yeah, that's like the ultimate.
Yeah, Elite's kind of there for me. I've got as close as I could to role playing in that, except for maybe. I mean, we did do some just for the poops and the giggles role play when GTA 5 first came out online, but that was on the 360, so it was literally everybody was all in this hodgepodge of madness. I think if I was gonna do it, it would probably Elite's the easy answer, so I'm gonna try and avoid Elite right now.
I always sort of never liked role playing and stuff. Like World of Warcraft, they had those role playing servers, and I would try it, and I'd sort of be like, I don't want to talk like a dwarf the whole time. Like, I just want to go kill wolves, man.
It's because you've got no imagination, Boston.
That is fair.
That's why you have all the imagination you want, but when you start reading too many thous and this and whatever, it's like, oh man, no.
Verily, the bear pelts.
I'm English, dude. Shakespeare is in my blood.
Yeah. You should get him out of there.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Just off good bleeding.
Yeah.
Why do you think I keep leeches at the ready?
That's right. I can't really... I don't know. It always feels like some of these online games you should do that, but I don't know. Roleplay in the Division 2 as an agent?
Yeah, no. There's not enough plot there to actually start even building a character sheet.
You mean the bad guys are bad and the agents are probably also bad, but you're playing as them? That's not enough of a plot?
No, definitely not.
But what if he turned into that master of arms that really had that backstory that you just don't know about because you only buy weapons from him?
True. You know what? I'd love to do it just for fun. Is that stupid like gang MMO that was around for a while?
Gang MMO.
Oh, I wish I could.
Is that ATV?
It could have. Yeah, it could have been that one. Yeah, where it was just so dumb.
I forgot about APB. Yeah. That and Shadowrun never really got their time.
That would be
Shadowrun was awesome.
Shadowrun was cool.
I mean, it was kind of dumb, but it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Bojangles in chat says, "Hey sugars, I kind of want to be Mad Moxie." There you go.
Yep.
Just go to a convention. You can RP as Mad Moxie.
Yep.
Fifth Horseman in Discord says, "Insurance fraud has been in Saints Row from the beginning. The version in 1 remains one of my all-time favorite side quests. Too bad it's inside Saints Row 1."
Yep.
So, a little bit of clarification from Reese. Thank you very much, Fifth Horseman. Timid Hulk in Discord says, "Hey guys, I hope all is going well." Thank you. "I've been spinning my wheels some when trying to play games lately, finding myself bouncing off of almost everything I try."
Preach.
Weird. Yeah. Near instantly, except for the short Crackdown 3 and Super Hot. Thank you, Game Club. "I find myself returning to Madden, but don't find the repetitiveness rewarding and deleted it. So I have a two-part question. First, have you found yourself in a gaming lull, and how do you break it? Second, any suggestion for games I should try and break this curse? Thanks in advance, and for the many hours of entertainment." Okay, so his first question is, have you found yourself in a gaming lull? That's yes for, I think, everybody that plays games.
Yeah.
How do you break it?
I don't know. I'll let you know when I figure it out. I've kind of been in this way since probably about October or November of last year, but for me, it's just a case of exhaustion. Like, I'm mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I'm trying to, when I play games, I'm trying to not play games that require me to sit there and psychoanalyze every single thing I do. So The Division, you point a gun at things until the health bar vanish.
LTRT, like it's
yes.
Well, and that's, I think, part of the appeal of Astroneer, where you already know the foundational basics. So some days you might just get in there and you're not gonna really do anything new. You're just gonna reorganize your base a little bit, and that feels good.
I'm gonna suck up all of the dirt and turn that dirt into materials to make more storage space, because for some reason I don't have enough storage space.
Yeah, never have enough storage space. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I play Destiny 2 a lot, because I'm tired and I'm burnt out, and I know how to play Destiny, and I have all these micro goals I'm working towards, and I can play for an hour and make progress towards one of these goals, and I can say, all right, I had fun, I'm doing something. Same with The Division, where it's like, I can play for half an hour, capture a control point, loot a little bit of stuff, alright, I'm good.
Yeah, to pardon the Elite Dangerous pun here, but it's something that you can play on autopilot. Right. It's something that, because we don't have cable, we don't have anything like that. We've got the streaming services, and only a couple of them. Like, we've got the Netflix, the Hulu. I'd sound like an old man again. We've got the Google and the Yahoos.
Got the tubes and the things.
Yeah, like, we've got that stuff, but we don't have a cable package, so I can't just pop on the television and watch a bunch of sports. Not like I like watching American sports anyway.
TBS will be showing national... oh, God. What's the Steal the Declaration of Independence movies?
National Treasure?
National Treasure, yeah. They'll be showing that again. You can always turn that on, be ready.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have that here. So for me, like, streaming stuff, like, I've ended up watching a whole bunch of Sherlock. Not Sherlock, Elementary. Sherlock is the BBC version. I will get killed if I don't clarify that mistake.
Right.
I've been watching Elementary, not Sherlock. Right. And it's something like, you take a break, you watch something else. You watch some comfort food stuff. Like, you do things other than that, just to try and get yourself away from it. Winemaker Joe in chat, really good point. Like, play a game from your past that you love. Like,
yeah.
4-Job Fiesta for Boston is one of those things. Yeah, like, you haven't
played it in 10-15 years. Like, go play Super Mario World or something. Like, something really simple to kind of break you out of the rut.
Yeah, like, I've been watching 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps again, which is 20-something... A sitcom about a bunch of 20-somethings from like 2001. Yeah. So that thing is dated, but oh boy, do they have a supremely great like writing talent for making insults out of nothing. They refer to someone as being a yogurt. I'm sorry, but when you insult someone as a yogurt, that's a genuinely original insult.
Right.
I find a lot of times with me too, just kind of changing what I'm doing. Just like kind of stopped playing video games for a day or two. Like a couple of months ago, I got back into reading because I finally had some time. And in about 2 days, I read about 5 books. And about that time, I was like, all right, cool. I think I can play a game. I know a lot of times, way back when, I used to play the Ratchet and Clank series. Yeah, it would be my curse-breaking game. Where usually about the time I was starting to get burnt out, one of those would come out.
Yeah.
All right, I'll play that. And then by the time I beat that, I was already ready to start going again.
Video games are good again. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been kind of a dry spell for those games lately. So
Yeah, unfortunately. I keep hoping they'll announce another one because the movie one wasn't bad. It wasn't the best one, but you know.
no, but.
And any suggestions for games I should try and break this curse?
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, play Ratchet and Clank.
The Spyro trilogy.
Yeah, Spyro trilogy.
Spyro trilogy just came out, and despite being an older game, they are, like, generally speaking, like, blue sky games. Like, try and find something that you don't have to take seriously, depending on your mood. Astroneer. It's a cheap game. It's $30. You know, there is very limited stress when it comes to playing that kind of game.
Yeah.
Don't get into something that you know the ceiling is super high on. Like, I would recommend Rocket League, but then if you play Rocket League enough and you start to get invested in Rocket League does not become a game that sparks joy. It becomes a game that sparks rage instead.
Right. Yeah, the thing I always try and do is I try and find something that's completely the opposite of a game that I was just playing. Like, if I'm burnt out on open world games, maybe I want to play like an 8 to 10 hour platformer or like a first or third person shooter. Like, I'm going to be able to start this, finish it, and I'll just be done with it and put it back on the shelf.
Yeah.
You know, none of
Rayman
this like,
Legends.
Yeah, something like that. And you know, it's not this 100-hour thing where it's like, all right, 15 pages side quest, let's go. You know, it's just, you got 10 hours and Rayman's here for you. It's got cool music levels.
It does.
Yeah.
So maybe a change of genre will help too, like you guys are saying, because if you're tired of playing dark brooding games, go find yourself a nice little anime game to play where everything's happy. And
go play a farming game.
Yeah, or if you're tired of blue sky games, go play Sekiro. Games
Right.
that will remind you that you suck as a gamer.
Yeah, have that game kick your teeth in. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord asks our final questions here. With the next Star Wars game being officially announced, it seems to have a focus on single player. What would you want from the game from the details that are announced?
Did they announce any details?
Not that I've seen. I think...
I thought it was just the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer... I don't even think it showed gameplay. It was mostly CG.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I would really want is I would want there to be a good balance of being able to use the lightsaber as a weapon and being able to use the powers. Like, I don't want to have to use... I want a good balance between the two. I don't want to just be able to use the lightsaber and just be able to use the powers. Like, I want to feel like I can use both, and they both would be impactful to the gameplay.
Yeah. Honestly, I just want a good narrative game that keeps up that whole thing. I don't even mind if it's got a Red Dead Redemption 1 ending. Spoiler alert for Red Dead Redemption 1.
Right.
But I don't mind if it ends in a bad way or a good way. I want a game that has characters that I can invest in. I want a storyline that positive or negative ending is a storyline that I can enjoy. But more importantly, get the sound effects right. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I would kill for another Aliens game just so I can fire a pulse rifle.
Right.
Because it's one of those sound effects where it just gives me that little adrenaline spike of this is a great sound.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that lightsaber swinging noise. Like that's always going to be good if you can get that stuff right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Joe in chat again. Can we get crazy lightsabers, battens, spinning ones? Yeah, allow customizable lightsabers, please. Not just the stupid one-handed thing.
Yeah. Yeah, almost like what I think they were trying to go with KOTOR, where you're trying to you made your lightsaber and you could sort of customize it a little bit. But what if they're lightsaber nunchucks? Whoa,
go and watch the trailers for the Old Republic MMO. There's some incredible lightsaber stuff in there. Like, please, just go outside the box a little bit. I know you can't exactly paint outside the lines when you're dealing with a Disney property.
Yeah.
It's got to be within a certain limitation. But color right up to the edge of the line. Go over the line a little.
There's a lot there, too.
Yeah, do more like what Rogue One did. Clearly a Star Wars movie that tied into the larger Star Wars movies, but it was its own thing for like 99% of it. But
Well, and
that,
if they,
oh, go ahead.
sorry, if they do like trees and stuff like that, I would want them to be kind of set up like how the Jedi Order was set up, where you've got the Jedis that were really good at lightsaber battles, Jedis that were really strong in the Force, Jedis that were really good at diplomacy, and just kind of branch your tree out there. Because the most awesome way to fight is when you've got a lightsaber in your hand and you're using the Force, and you've got two other lightsabers floating around you that are also fighting as you're fighting.
So I think my dream game at this moment is sounding like take what Assassin's Creed Odyssey did and just put Star Wars around that.
Yeah.
I would play that.
And where's a Sith game? I want to play as a Sith.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the next game's PvP mode.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about Leonidas's lightsaber now, where
That'd be
you
great.
throw it at somebody and teleport to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As soon as you brought up Assassins, it was like the only way you could really do that is by playing a Sith game, which is the genre most video games barely touch. I mean, yeah, you could play as a light side or dark side, but no one really fully expanded on the Sith side of things.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, Sith Assassins were a thing. Play as that.
T-Bomb also asked, what was a system you wanted growing up but never able to get for whatever reason until you were an adult, only to finally play or own it to be disappointed? For me, it was
Mega Drive.
the Panasonic 3DO. What was yours, Moon? Sorry?
The Mega Drive. We didn't have one in the household until much longer after it came out, and by the time we actually had one in the house, the PlayStation was out. So we were very much in the case of, come on, like, this is old now.
Right,
The PlayStation's around.
You can look
Saturn's
side by
around.
side and be like, this is the future. That's old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I always wanted the Atari Lynx, mostly because it seemed really cool, and I think when it came out, I think we were all tickled by the stupid marketing, which was do the math. No one remembers. Basically, they were trying to compete against the Super NES and the Genesis. Both of those were 16-bit systems. The Lynx, no, it was a Jaguar, sorry. The Jaguar had two 16-bit chips on the board, so they were saying, we'll do the math. We're the first 32-bit system. Everyone's like, are you?
Yeah.
Are you, though?
That's how technology works.
Yeah, you just add them.
Yeah. How'd you get a GameCube? Or how'd you get a Wii? You duct tape two GameCubes together?
That's right.
How'd
It's
you get
just
a
math.
Wii U? You duct tape them two together?
Yeah. You
We
already
could
have the
start-
gamepad.
We could start with Game Boys and just multiply it all the way up to the Switch.
That's right. Just have this brick of 64 Game Boys.
So one that I wanted, and it died so hard and so fast for me to even realize that it did suck, was the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, boy, that was
Because
rough.
I think I think I was able to play it once at a Sears, and they had the
Yep.
Star Fox demo, and then I was like, oh man, that's kind of cool. And then yeah, that thing disappeared, and I'd never seen it again.
Yeah, I had a chance to buy one at like a secondhand store. I think it was $50. I should have bought it. Just to have it sitting behind me on the shelf where it's like, Virtual Boy.
Just pet it and be like, you were before your time.
Yeah, you could have been. Man. Yeah, I think the only other one for me was probably the Saturn, but the Saturn is a good console that I bought it, but I bought it for the worst game on it, which is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's a bad version of Symphony of the Night, all the way around.
The first time I played a Saturn, it was Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Woof. It's not even like Street Fighter 3, where it's like, here's a really good sprite-based game. It's like, no, man, the game of the movie.
Yep.
You're a part of a history that no one ever speaks about.
Yeah.
But then, having said that, I did also play Fighters Megamix, which had Pepsi Man and a Daytona car as a playable character.
Friggin' car. It's so good. Alright, thank you very much everyone for sending in your questions. That's our episode this week. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right hand side of the page. One more week to do Super Hot.
Yep.
So you can...
That game plays with you in some weird ways.
Yeah, it is a trip. If you've never played it, it's a thing. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers, 100 patrons, and I will pick a game of I will play a Resident Evil game of Moonpier's choosing and stream it.
Yeah.
In the dark.
I'll ship you my
Like-
VR headset.
Yeah, like a big chicken.
Can we clarify this and say stream it to completion? To completion.
Oh yeah, that was stated.
I don't want subtext. I want text.
I will write down here to completion.
In blood.
Okay, I will do that. Don't forget to listen to We Rogue Like It. For patrons, we're starting a brand new game this week. For the free feed, I think we just finished Swords of Ditto, and we came together as scientists and ranked it. So go check that out on the free feed. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Alright.
I have so many titles.
Nim, do you want to go first?
I got a couple.
Okay, we'll go
I
first.
started realizing as I read this that I have rabbit ears for certain things, apparently.
Okay.
First one I had was Welcome to TV Game Pass.
Oh, right. I think that was in...
That was pre-show.
I don't remember if that was
Pre-show,
pre-show
yeah,
or
okay.
not.
Yeah, I think that
was. Text with your friends. I'm gonna get in ya. Getting thrown on the floor. What is the ramming station's name? Animoopir. And which version of Isaac? ... All of them.
That's a good one. It's too long, though. It's getting hot in here. Yeah, that's a good one, too. I think that was on break, though. Moonpier, what about you?
Don't play when Japan is awake.
Yeah.
Like a kick in the teeth. A dangly bit. The number 2 problem. Famous last words. Autodoc radio. Bangle dangling. Brood lines. And I don't want subtext.
Oh, boy. Autodoc radio is Autodoc, one word, hyphenated, 2 words?
It's one word.
One word, Autodoc.
It's whatever you want it to be.
I just wanted to dock me without crashing into a station.
Even that can't guarantee that, dude.
I know. The computers are only so good. Alright, I have Don't Play When Japan's Awake, The Prelude to Burnout, Build a Factory with Math, Animoopir. So good. I wrote down, I said Something's Cinematic Universe. Do you remember what I was talking about? I didn't write it down immediately, and I, of course...
Was that the National Treasure one?
No, it was right before that where I talked about Something's Cinematic Universe. Maybe someone from chat can remember. Verily, the Bear Pelts. The bad guys are bad, and you're also bad. The number 2 problem, and Autodoc radio. Don't Play When Japan's Awake is definitely a finalist.
Yeah.
Animoopir is really good.
The fact that you keep laughing tells you that that should be a finalist.
I love a good portmanteau, and anime and Moonpier together is just... It's like chocolate and peanut butter. I like The Bad Guys Are Bad and You're Also Bad, but I think it's too long.
Yeah. For me, it's Animoopir, Don't Play When Japan is Awake, or Autodoc Radio, the final 3.
Yeah, Autodoc Radio is good too. Which ones do you like, Nimp?
I'm a pretty big fan of Animoopir. Or Animoopir.
I feel like Animoopir's got to win because it's making all 3 of us laugh.
Yeah, it's gotta take it.
Okay. Circling that. Let me know when you guys are ready with your funny quips.
I don't do funny, dude. I do stupid. Surely you know that by now.
I do serious quips, sir.
Mine's are stupid.
We appreciate stupid on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to make the most obvious joke ever. I'm ready.
Okay. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 599 for April 15th, 2019. Animoopir.
I'm over 9,000!
Please notice me, senpai.
Alright, that's a good one. We got 2 winners here. Alright, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and a bunch of you chatting a ton on both your respective platforms, and Mixer being garbage as usual, so pretty normal. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye!